Many people are asking, what's the deal behind the Mueller investigation? What is it with these 13 companies and 3 individuals that have been charged by a grand jury? Well, here's the problem. It's not a conspiracy to get Donald Trump into office. In fact, what they're doing is taking facts and twisting them to meet the narrative that they want. Not so much to get at Donald Trump, but to get at Russia. Okay. Basically, you have these click farms in Russia. They also exist throughout Asia as well. Particularly, Indonesia is really big for this. What happens is you create a post, and you pay a third-party company to give it a ton of likes and shares in order to boost that post. Now, you can also pay Facebook to do the same thing, but you get a better deal if you go through the third party. Actually, it's interesting. Veritasium did a very good video on that, showing the scam that Facebook uses to get you more likes and shares. So I would recommend checking that. So that's all it really is a click farm. So somebody gives it fake likes, they promote it. That's the thing. So somebody creates, and they're finding that it was Americans who created this post about Hillary Clinton or whatever it happened to be, and true or false, they believe what was in the article. Then they put that out, and they want that to gain traction, so they go to one of these like farms that spreads it across the internet. That is what the investigation found. They didn't find a massive conspiracy by Russian bots to spread misinformation during the election. They found that you can pay for a service that Facebook already offers you. And then that's what the whole bit, that's this alleged connection to Russia, is the fact that they paid a company that exists in Russia to do that. Many of them have phones that are connected to automatically like things once given a signal by a central office. I mean, you could see these in many countries, but for some reason, only the Russian ones really mattered, because it's politically advantageous to blame Russia for things, because it is a competing power within the world. And as we did see, the Pentagon listed terrorism as no longer the primary security threat to the United States anymore, but the rising powers of China and Russia, global competitors. So I don't think it's a mere coincidence that these things just happen to come up. Now, that's basically the gist of what's going on. These companies are just things that give fake likes and shares to posts when you pay for them. That's hardly a crime. It's a violation of Facebook's terms of service, even though they offer the exact same thing. But it's not illegal. And it's not election interference. I mean, there are plenty of YouTube channels that did that. Smosh admitted to doing that, getting fake likes, getting fake ratings, etc. Lee Dorn, remember that guy, How the World Works, back when he was relevant? He did the exact same thing. Thunderfoot made a video calling him out on that. So, I mean, it's not a new practice. It's something that's been around for a long time. So it's hardly this grand Russian conspiracy that they make it out to be. Meanwhile, you've got real interferences in the U.S. elections, like Bernie Sanders being screwed out of the nomination. And now that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. You got claiming that Russia hacked the DNC servers, which is interesting considering that the data rate of the transfer was too fast to have been done over the internet. It would have had to have been done on a flash drive by somebody in the office. But you'll notice that, Moscow and the DNC headquarters are on opposite sides of the planet. One's not inside the other. Somebody inside the DNC would have had to have done it. And if that was really the concern by the DNC, why didn't they turn over the servers to the FBI to investigate them? Of course, they decided not to do that. Why did Donna Brazil go out and lie concerning the investigation? Why did Debbie Wasserman Schultz testify in court that just because people voted for Bernie Sanders does not mean that the DNC is obligated to put them up as the candidate? Which kind of makes the whole point of a vote, irrelevant. If the vote literally doesn't matter, then why are you having the vote? Of course, this all comes with accusations that Russia somehow hacked the voting machines that gave the election to Donald Trump. Because, of course, Hillary Clinton couldn't have legitimately lost because she's a war hawk. People don't like her. She has a very shady past. And the fact that people know that she screwed Bernie Sanders out of the nomination. I mean, it's ridiculous. Hillary Clinton blames everybody but herself. She lost because of herself. It was not Donald Trump's fault. It was not Bernie Sanders' fault. It was not Russia's fault. It was her fault. She screwed over the Democratic Party, and she lost as a result of this by choosing not to go with the candidate that would have beaten Donald Trump and promoting Donald Trump herself over other candidates because she felt she could beat him. Well, isn't that Hillary Clinton interfering with the election? That doesn't count. So, never mind that. So there you have it. That's basically the gist of the entire conspiratorial nonsense that's around Russia allegedly destroying, stealing the election for Donald Trump. This is nothing more than a plot to demonize Russia, to justify placing more pressure on the country now that it and China have been rising as powers to challenge U.S. hegemony. So really, when you hear people crying this about how Russia hacked the election, it really didn't. In fact, they didn't do anything that hasn't been done every day. If you really want to blame someone for the spread of misinformation, blame the Trump supporters who made posts that weren't true. Some of them were true, some of them weren't true, depending on what it was they've put in, and they paid to have that spread. And it happened to be a Russian company that they hired to do so. Oh, there is one more thing I want to mention. There's footage on CNN of a CNN person confronting the woman who was in charge of a Facebook group that put out a lot of this information against Hillary Clinton. And they accused her of working with Russian bots. You did Russian bots. You were working with the Russians. And she says, I never worked with Russians. I never did any of that. And no, technically she didn't. The company that she hired to boost those posts happened to be in Russia. That doesn't mean that there was a collusion with Russia to steal the election. I mean, even all of this taken in, exactly who is the U.S. to complain that somebody interfered in their election when they spend millions on interfering in other people's elections?
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.